Thanks for clicking on the video. If you like what you hear, please drop a comment and say hi. It'd help me out a lot.
Marcus Steele ran every morning before the desert sun scorched the horizon. Boots crunching over red gravel, breath in perfect rhythm. Not for fitness, not for duty, but because each footfall reminded him he was still here. Not in a foxhole on Mars, not burning in the orbital ambush of Titan Station. He rounded the final stretch past the comms tower, pausing only to salute a young private with a sleepy salute of his own. "Coffee, sir?" the private offered, already knowing the answer. "Black, strong. Like my regret," Marcus deadpanned, cracking a faint smirk. Inside the mess tent, chatter bounced between walls. News of rerouted supply drones, a broken water filter, someone's birthday. Mundane stuff, comforting. As XO of Echo 7, Marcus thrived on the rhythm, the rules. After years of chaos in deep space conflicts, Earth felt like a planet worth defending again. But today, there was a buzz, a whisper behind the wind. Like someone had just tuned the air to a frequency only Marcus could feel. Steele reviewed surveillance reports when the screen flickered, just for a second. Then again. "Do we have a glitch in Sector 9? He asked. "No, sir. Everything's clean," replied Lieutenant Hara, frowning. He leaned forward. The desert feed showed static, a shimmer in the sand, as if the air itself had become a mirage. Then, it was gone. "Send a drone. I want eyes on." The room convulsed. No quake, no impact, just absence. Like the universe inhaled sharply and took Marcus with it. He woke not in chains, but in silence. An oval chamber of pulsing walls, organic tech, smell of ozone and ancient copper. Floating orbs pulsed overhead. Shapes moved just outside the walls, fluid and tall, not built for human eyes. They didn't speak. They scanned. The first week, they poked. Needles, neural threads, induced dreams. They asked no questions, yet somehow knew what he feared. The second week, they began the upgrades. The goal was simple: awaken the full human brain. Something they'd failed with dozens of others. Brains fried, souls shattered. But Marcus, he adapted. On day 21, his brain lit up like a nova. It began with whispers, thoughts that weren't his. He focused, and the aliens froze. He felt them. Nervous energy, conflict resolution loops. They weren't warriors. They were scientists. Curious, obsessed. Now, he was in their minds. One reached for a control panel. Marcus said nothing. The being's arm fell limp. They tried sedation. He rewired it mid-injection. They tried force. He stopped hearts with a thought. The walls around him began to pulse, alive. His fingers traced circuits that hadn't been invented yet. He turned the wall into a doorway. No key needed. Marcus walked barefoot through the alien hallways. The air shimmered. Panels opened before he touched them, as if the ship sensed it no longer owned him. But the changes weren't just physical. He saw more now. Not with his eyes, but with something deeper. A sphere of awareness. Like his thoughts had sprouted antennae. Every flickering light had intent. Every sound carried data. That's when he saw it. A shadow in the hallway, curled fetal, humming. No, singing. She stood under a dead star, surrounded by a halo of broken satellites. Her voice cut through space like sunlight through ice. She sang for someone she lost. Marcus whispered. He shouldn't know this. He never fought in that war, never saw the woman whose grief became her weapon. But he knew her story, like it was carved into his neurons, like she had sung for him. He wept, because this wasn't a dream. This was a window. He now had dimensional sight. From that moment on, Marcus saw everything in layers. Alternate timelines, failed futures, ghosts of people not yet born. Versions of himself, some heroes, some monsters. And more stories bled through. A man who built a tower so high it cracked the moon. just to hear his dead wife's voice echo back. A clone who stole his original's name and fell in love with a digital phantom. A soldier who screamed himself out of existence to stop a war, leaving only a crater where his soul used to be. What the hell have they done to me? The XLR hadn't upgraded him. They'd opened the floodgates. He didn't mean to destroy it, but thought had become action. Every fear, every memory, his mind touched matter now. Panels melted, gravity inverted. One Zellery tried to run. Marcus blinked, and it simply unraveled. He escaped through a dimensional pocket, leaving the mothership adrift, its inhabitants still trying to comprehend what they'd awakened. A freak storm brewed without warning. Static hummed through the air, like a radio stuck between stations. Then came a crack of thunder, and Marcus Steele dropped out of thin air. Not fell, materialized. He stood in the rain, barefoot, shirtless, eyes distant. A convoy spotted him. Soldiers shouted. He didn't flinch. Their guns didn't matter. They brought him in. Scanners failed. Biometrics broke. Psych evals ended in nosebleeds and seizures. He's different, a general muttered. But that was underselling it. Neural Dominion. In the debrief room, Marcus silenced an interrogator's aggressive thoughts without speaking. Not just silence, he replaced them with calm, nostalgia, safety, molecular rewriting. When handed a glass of water, Marcus turned it into obsidian. When asked why, he simply said, "To remind myself not everything should be transparent." Dimensional sight. At night, he stared into mirrors that reflected not just him, but possibilities. One showed him as a tyrant, another, a martyr. In all of them, one truth echoed: they die if I stay this way. He could have become king, or god, or destroyer. But Marcus saw too much. Worlds where he ruled, worlds where he burned it all down. In one future, he turned the moon into a brain computer and uploaded all of Earth. In another, he vanished, left behind only a garden, growing out of control. So he made his choice. He walked into the middle of a city, shut down comms, sat in a public square, and simply listened. And the world began to dream. People around him remembered other lives, loved ones lost, fates that never happened. Like Marcus was a mirror, showing them the roads not taken. Marcus's presence destabilizes reality. Not intentionally, his very existence is causing rips. People begin seeing things, memories from alternate lives, streets that shouldn't exist, messages in dreams, governments panic, AI surveillance glitches, drones refuse to follow protocols. Some people begin worshipping Marcus as the witness. Others want him dead. He does nothing, because he already knows what they'll try, and what it'll cost them. The military unleashes Omega Directive, a fusion of quantum AI and alien tech, mean to neutralize high-dimensional threats. Marcus meets it halfway, in the ruins of a black site in Alaska. They trade no words. He rips its perception open, shows it 10,000 endings. It hesitates. Then, kneels. Even machines can learn mercy, he whispers. Then Marcus meets himself. Not just another version. This is the root self, the man he was before abduction. The soldier. They argue. We were made to protect. No, we were broken to evolve. The soldier wants the powers gone. The witness wants to guide humanity. And in the end, they both agree. Humanity must not be ruled. Marcus finds the highest point on Earth, a quantum singularity. He manifests in Antarctica. One pulse. All at once, the powers disperse, not vanish, spread. Some go to children, some to the dying, some to the lost. Not gods, seeds. He collapses, fully human again. But somewhere, in the folds between dimensions, a voice sings. She will sing me to the stars. And he smiles, because even gods need lullabies. A girl in Nepal moves a mountain with a thought. An old woman in Detroit remembers a life as a diplomat on Mars. And in a quiet garden, grown where a singularity once pulsed, a small plaque reads, Here lies Marcus Steele, human, witness, choice.